Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to begin with some brief information about your background. Could you tell us where you went to law school?
Ohio State, undergrad and law school.
And what do you do? What kind of law do you practice?
General practitioner, but emphasis on real estate.
Are you a solo practitioner or a member of a law firm?
Now a solo practitioner. I've been a member of law firms throughout my career.
How long have you been practicing in Cleveland?
Since 1964.
And how long have you been an attorney?
1964.
How long have you been a member of the Cleveland Law Library?
I believe I became a member through the firm I was with it when I first started, so 1964. But I started coming in 1963 because I was a law clerk for that firm.
Would you say a lot has changed at the Cleveland Law Library over the years?
Only the fact that you now use computers for a lot of the information you get your members.
Do you remember anything about our staff, past or present?
Yeah, I was very fond of Art Fisk and Bob Barner. They were good guys.
Do you have any special memories of your time here?
Yes, I do, and there's a particular memory, and that is back in about 1975, during or just after the Nixon wage price regulations that had come down. I had a client call me who bid as a general contractor to build the Southerly wastewater treatment plant. And I went to see the client, and they told me the story that they didn't know about the construction as a general contractor and the uniqueness of some of the procedures. And they told me that they had ordered $800,000 worth of steel, and they had purchased half the job steel, and they already spent $800,000. So back in 1970, they were looking at losing $800,000 on the job. So I thought long and hard, and I came up with the following theory, that the purchase order was issued in 1974, 75, whatever it was, during the wage price freeze, Nixon's wage price freeze, and it had a escalator clause in the back. Although we've quoted you at $800,000, price will be price in effect at time of delivery. And they didn't start delivering because of construction till a year and a half later, and prices had risen. So I had to figure something out, and I decided that an argument may be that that was illegal because the escalation clause in the purchase order, on the back of the purchase order, price in effect at time of delivery, would be violative of the Nixon wage price regulations. Came over to the law library and talked to Art or Bob, and I said, you know, during the Second World War, they had what they call the Office of Price Administration, because there was a wage price freeze during the Second World War. And there was an administrative body called the Office of Price Administration, and Governor Mike DeSalle from Ohio was appointed by Roosevelt to be the head of the OPA. And there were some rules and regulations and decisions of the Office of Price Administration. So I asked Art or Bob, do you have the decisions that the Office of Price Administration made? And he said, let me think. And he said, yeah, we do. They're on the 5th floor. And so we went up to the 5th floor, and I found what we needed, and used the 5th floor information as, you know, part of my arguing with the steel company. And probably was the first and maybe the last time anybody had been on the 5th floor of the Cleveland Law Library. So I told the lawyer for Jones Day, who was representing the steel company, that when I won the case, we didn't even get to a case, we negotiated. When I would beat him, I would advertise in the Wall Street Journal that anybody that bought steel from his client during the wage price freeze and paid the escalation, I'd advertise that we had a victory, because I was convinced we were going to win. So we settled. And I didn't know it, but it's a very specialized field, dealing with temporary legislation and rules and regulations. They set up what they call the Temporary Emergency Court of Appeals to hear appeals of decisions of the OPA. And about 2 weeks after we settled, the OPA came out totally opposite of my theory. So I was lucky I settled. But that was a fond memory.
Without a doubt. Would you say that a lot has changed in legal practice since you started your career?
I would say it's much more sophisticated today at all levels than it used to be. And the library is the same, except a lot of the material is electronically stored.
Is there anything you miss about the way it used to be?
Yeah, I mean, I like research, and I like holding books when I do research. But there's no question you can be a better researcher electronically than you can just trying to find things in the books. So, but that's what I miss.
And are there any lessons you've learned in the course of your career?
No, really, I've learned some lessons, the hard way, but that's life.
Well, thank you very much for today.
You're welcome.